Hey man, just giving you a quick call. I just wanted to let you know that you are so close, dude. You're so much closer than you think. A lot of these big goals that we've had and these big aspirations, they're right around the corner for you, dude. So you just cannot give up. So stoked for you to see this. P.S. We bought a Lambo. So keep going, bro. We'll talk soon. Peace.
Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Bryson. This is the Bryson Everyday Project Podcast. This podcast is a little bit different than other ones out there. Here, I only focus on documentation. I don't focus on quality or being professional or being entertaining. If that sounds like something you're interested in, I'd love for you to stick around and give the show a listen. You can also follow me on Instagram at BRQUSE. Thank you so much. Here's the show.
What's going on? It is episode 756, November 13th, 2025. It's 9:27 p.m. So tomorrow is the day. Tomorrow is the day where I transfer everything over and set everything up for Trey. We were talking and I said, yeah, dude, let's do it. I said this on Monday. I said, yeah, dude, I should be able to finish everything by Thursday, and then come Friday, we'll just shut down Notion, and then I'll get everything in there ready to rock and roll, and then you should be good to go. That way, Saturday you wake up, your team can use whatever, and you should be all set. And he said, okay, cool. He seems kind of worried that we're going to lose data. I don't know, just by the texts. He says, well, because he has a lot of renewals coming, he doesn't want to lose track of that. And it's I understand, but it's funny because you're never going to lose track if you have it written down. And he does, and he sent it to me over text. So as long as we don't delete our text messages, it's here forever. It will never get lost. So, but he says, when do you need me to send the renewal information? New text. Are you planning on doing that tomorrow? New text. I just want to make sure the master log populates right and everything is in there. And then he sent me a list of everybody. And then he says, these are all the current readings that need to be added. And I said, I totally understand, man. I will do whatever is needed to ensure everything is accurate and populated correctly. We can even review everything together to ensure it's accurate. The new system layout is much better and much less confusing than what you're currently using. And then he just gave it a heart. That's it. So tomorrow is the day. Tomorrow is the day that I do nothing else except set it up and move data. So I'm really looking forward to this, because once this is done, then it's all Mina, and then that's that. I don't have to worry about all this stuff lingering over my head with Trey. I don't have to worry about the stuff lingering around, or I guess after Mina, I won't have to worry about any of this stuff. It'll just be maintaining and making sure everything runs correctly and answering questions, doing a whole bunch of customer support, And I'm really just looking forward to it. I really am. I can't wait for this to be done. But anyway, so I've noticed something today, or I guess the last, I don't know. Maybe it's just all this shit happening all at once, combined with the fact that I didn't get that sale on the call, combined with the fact that, I had to cut some things off of the first project version because they're not ready. And I don't know what it is, but I'm so excited to deliver this and get it ready, but just that excitement to continue building, I don't know what it is, what I'm thinking, because I want to be able to sell this, and I want to be able to get it out there and market it and whatever I got to do, because I do believe this is such an opportunity, I mean, I make 100 sales. That's $500,000. Just 100 sales. Much easier said than done. But just 100. Just 100. There's just so much that I can do. I don't know. There's a lot. And I don't know. I think why I'm getting kind of, what comes to mind is disgusted or grossed out with what I'm doing, is because the work will never stop, which is good. That means I have a job in some sense, right? The work will never stop. But I want to delegate that out to somebody, because I feel like I've paid my fucking dues with building this Notion system. I want somebody to take that over, but I need them to do it with the same vision and the same standard of quality and the same verbiage of how I write things and the same punctuality with or the punctuation with it. I just am so picky about that shit. And part of me, you know, I can't remember what the quote is, but you relinquish, if you never relinquish control of this stuff, you'll never grow. But in relinquishing that control, you, quote, lose the standard or the level of precision that you were originally going after, but then the business grows. I can't remember how that was said. It was said much better. Can't remember. I don't know. But yeah, and it just got me thinking about when I can, because I'm not going to lie, you know, Karn is on the team and he's working and he's not getting paid because that's what we talked about. I mean, in 2 days, it'll be his 2-month time frame working on the team. And he has said multiple times now that, you know, it's all good. He believes in me. We'll get this thing up and running. But I feel almost in debt to him, you know, and I mean, we'll cross that bridge when we get there, but I just feel bad because he is willingly putting time and effort into this. And I would love to be able to pay him and then actually have some expectations and like get scheduled hours. I just said like right there, God damn it. Get some scheduled hours, get some just a whole schedule when things are going to be worked on, and actually treat him as if he's really, sounds bad to say it this way, but as if he's really part of the team, and treat him like an employee. Because right now, it seems like what's happening is, you know, he has an idea, and I'm like, yeah, try it out, see what happens. Or, hey, you know, can you do on that? Can you work on this? And he'll say, yeah, I'll get to it. You know, I got to do this first. And I'm like, yeah, no problem. And I'm treating it that way because he's not, you know, I don't think it's right for me to have any sort of expectation or anything like that when he's not. I'm not even paying him. I just don't feel like that's right. Even though he reached out and offered to work, and I said, hey, I still can't pay you after that. Up to you what you want to do. And he says, yeah, no problem. You know, I believe in you. That's cool. That's a compliment. That's amazing. But I just feel bad. And yeah. So what I really think about is I want to make a sale or two and then say, hey, I can pay you. We'll start at this many hours, start at this pay, or hell, even a salary. You do these things, make sure we're done. I don't know. I don't know if there's enough work to really say salary. I think hourly would be better. But anyway, that was a bad voice crack. Interesting. I don't feel like my voice has been cracking a whole lot lately. I wonder why that is. Last 10 episodes, I don't think it's cracked that much. When I was on the call with Andrew, I don't think my voice cracked at all. Interesting. So what changed? I don't know. Started running more? Started hitting the gym more frequently? I don't know. Interesting. Today's Thursday? Today is Thursday. No shit. I just talked about how Friday is the day. Dude, time flies. I never know what day it is anymore. And before I know it, the week's over. That's insane. Okay, anyway. So I just want to be able to, I know this is not how entrepreneurship works, but damn, dude, I just wish I could right now just focus on one thing and just that one thing. I don't want to, have to. I don't know how to articulate what's in my head. Not that I don't accept the path that I chose, or not that I'm bitching, but it would just be much easier if I could just sit and build in Notion all day. And that's all I ever did. That'd be a dream. But then how am I going to sell it and make money? So I'm not going to even be able to build shit because I need money. So I need to be able to sell it. Okay, well, I need to be able to sell it. So that's, you know, that's a whole other thing, which means I got to post on social. I got to do the DMs, blah, blah, blah. And with all of that, you know, I'm going to have a sales call. And so that means I'm going to have to practice sales and learn more about sales and how to talk to people on the phone when I'm trying to sell the product. And then from there, I'm going to have to work on the delivery and make sure they get set up, make sure the onboarding process is nice, make sure they have a good experience, they know how to use everything. You know, there's just so much that I have to do before I can really get anybody else to do anything else for me, you know. I think the one thing that I can do is just delegate the building aspect of things. I don't know. It's just tough. It's just tough because I want it done the right way the first time. I don't want to have to go back and do it again. And I think I just need to, what I need to do is make a big outline or a document with all the key points, maybe some videos talking about the standard, and say to whoever the person is that wants to be part of the team, or maybe even it's Karn, hey, you are going to be the builder, you're going to do X, Y, Z, and these are the standards. It must look and feel this way. Any questions, let me know, kind of thing, you know? I don't know. But anyway, that's good. That's all I'm doing. Just said, God damn it. That's all I'm going to do tomorrow. I'm just going to set everything up for Trey, make sure everything is good to go. The good thing about Trey is that he has a lot of old stuff in here, and there's not a lot. Not a lot at all, actually. So the things that I am updating, it's so simple. So, well, it's relatively simple compared to what Mina's is, compared to what it will be in the future. And that, speaking of which, real quick, that problem that I was faced with yesterday, that made yesterday such a shitty day, that made me so exhausted that I actually took a little 30-minute nap. Last night when I was thinking about when I paused the show and then I resumed, when I was thinking about ways that I could do it, I was actually correct. I was just going about it the wrong way. So I don't even know how to explain how I came across this, but I was laying in bed, still thinking about it, and then I went to bed, woke up, and then I was laying in bed still, and I thought, I think this will work. And so I tried it on my phone, and I was getting upset because I didn't want to get out of my warm bed, but I needed a bigger screen, so I walked into my office, sat down, and I couldn't visualize it, so I actually put everything into one screen and made 4 test databases, linked them together, and then ran a hypothetical scenario to see if what I was thinking would work. And what I was thinking did not work. However, and this is the part that pisses me off, I asked Notion AI, hey, look at database 1 and number 2. Those are linked together. That's correct. I want those same relations with the same logic of following each name to be in database 3 and 4. What's the best course of action to do that? And it literally just did it for me. And it did it perfectly, and there was no issue. It was flawless. And I thought, whoa, what the fuck? And so what's interesting, I actually saved the conversation because I was flabbergasted. So what was said? So I said, so where did it say? Hold on, I'm reading it right now. Okay, so it says, cleared blue data, okay. Establish green to green relations, blah, blah, blah. The green databases now relate only to the green pages, mirroring the structure of the blue databases. For your 1300 entry database, the same automated process will work for your larger one. The approach is query all pages from both the old ones and the new ones, and then map the relations based on matching criteria. Bulk update all relation properties programmatically. I feel like that's not how you pronounce that word. Programmatically. All right. Bulk update all relation properties programmatically. To apply this to your larger database, I will need the URLs or names of the 4 databases, old main, old dump, new dump, confirmation of the matching criteria, blah, blah, blah. Once you provide these details, I can execute the same automated migration on your 1300 entry database without requiring any manual updates. So, based on this test that I ran, it did it flawlessly and it did it instantly. I don't know if it'll work on a database that has 13 rows, but I will find out tomorrow. But even if it doesn't work, it's not needed tomorrow. It's not needed, and I will get it done as soon as possible, but it's not needed. The world's not going to explode if I don't have it, so that's exciting. And I think that's everything that I need to worry about, because that has 1,300 rows for, I call it a dump bin, so I think I talked about it yesterday. Database 1 is where I click the button to submit a result, and then there's a dump bin that catches all the results. And then in the first database with the buttons, that's where it calculates the score. So if in database 1 I click yes, yes, no, no, then in database 2 it will have 4 entries, 2 yes, 2 no. And then in the first one it'll say 50% because 2 yes, 2 no. 50% of the time it's yes or no, depending on how you look at it. But that is, the check-ins thing is the only thing that is that big. Trey has a renewals thing, and if I look at that, there's not many. Where is it? There's not many. I can see it in one scroll, so there's a total of 44. So worst case scenario with this, I just do it one by one. That's not a problem. 44, I mean, that's tedious and that sucks ass, but not a big deal. But that should be everything. And, you know, he's got a thing for renewal follow-ups. Hasn't even used it, which is, I don't understand. It's fine. But yeah, there's a lot going on. Or I guess there's a lot happening, but all the stuff that's the tricky stuff is, I have to do a lot less of it. So that's exciting. But anyway, that will be tomorrow, and I'm looking forward to it because I think it will be simple. I don't think it'll be quick, but I wrote down a list of all the things that I need to do. It's a 12-point list, and I plan to just go through it, knock it out. I want to get done as soon as possible so I can just spend the rest of the day working on Mina stuff and then get that delivered as soon as possible, because Mina is going to be a lot harder. There's a lot more moving parts in his, and yeah, it's going to be tricky. But once that's done, then Trey will be done, Mina will be done, and then from there we can go back to the individual projects. Hopefully Trey doesn't say, "Oh man, thank you, we're done now." Hopefully that doesn't happen. If it does, then that sucks, but it is what it is. So yeah, I actually, that thought just made me think of it. I need to submit my paperwork to withdraw my retirement money, because I just think that money would be of much more benefit to me to have right now than it would be if it sat in the whatever the retirement account is for the next 50 years or 40 years or whatever it is. Matter of fact, let's run a little test real quick. I'm going to ask AI something, and I'm going to see how much, if I left 5K inside my retirement account for the next 50 years. No, 50 is too long. I think it'd be 30, because then I'd be 58. 30 years. How much would it be worth, best case scenario? Give me an answer only, no explanation. None of that horse shit, dude. Just give me a number, and I don't even care if it's accurate or not. So this is saying if I left $5,000 inside my retirement account for the next 30 years, how much would it be worth? Best case scenario. Give me an answer only, no explanations. It says 150 grand. Do I think that I will make 150 grand in the next 30 years? Yes, I do. Do I think I'll make more than that? Yes, I do. Do I think that this $5,000 right now would help me not have to get a job, which could save me more time, propel me forward just a little bit more for 2 months to ignite this so that I can make that money sooner? Yes, I do. Okay. To me, in my brain, that's a no-brainer. The retirement money is going to be used to support me for the next however long, according if Trey said, "Hey, peace," or something like that. You know what I mean? Hopefully that doesn't happen, but I'm just not worried. So, I don't know. 30 years for 150 grand? That's $5,000 a year. Do I think I'll be able to make $5,000 a year for the next 30 years? Yeah. I don't know. It just doesn't add up in my head. It doesn't make sense. Why would I don't know. I'll have to make a whole podcast about that, because if you want to work, if you don't want to work and you rather sit at home, and I don't know, no matter what the reason is, if you don't want to work, then maybe this shit is a great path for you. But if you love to work, then I would say that anything that, I don't know, dude. It's fine. Anyway, that's what I'm doing tomorrow, and I'm looking forward to it. I hope everything goes smooth. I like the fact that I've kind of already prepped everything, and it's good to go. I mean, I've got certain tabs named correctly. I've got certain filters set up. I've got names ready. I've got all the automations ready, so I just have to activate them, and then I'll move it over, and then so it should. In theory, it really shouldn't take longer than 4 hours, but nothing ever goes according to plan around here. So I think it'll be probably double that, maybe even triple, hopefully not. And then we'll be good to go. The other thing that I have to do is set up all the automations in Make. And because today is a Friday, or tomorrow will be a Friday, and it'll be set up, I think I'm going to make sure they're turned on within the week, and I'll probably have Karn help me with that. Interesting, because we're going to have to duplicate all the automations that we have now and then just hook them up to Treys' system. Damn, we got a lot to do, huh? The work never stops, dude. If it's anything that I'm learning from this journey right now, is that there's just always so much to do. And if you ever feel like there's nothing to do, you're about to get your ass kicked. I think one of the biggest takeaways in this phase of, I don't want to call it entrepreneurship because I'm not selling shit yet. I haven't made $1. I guess technically I have made lots of dollars because I'm outsourcing, or not outsourcing. I'm offering my services for money. I marketed myself out there. I got referrals. I said, hey, this is blah, blah, blah. This is what I can do. And people wanted me on their team. So I guess technically I'm making money, and I am technically an entrepreneur, I guess. But if it's anything that I've learned the most right now in this phase, is that it just takes so much more than I thought. I thought it would take a lot, but it takes way more than that. And it's so funny because reflecting back on old advice that I got, or not personal advice, but advice from, Gary Vee, and who else did I listen to? Andy Frisella back in the MFCEO days. I mean, even Alex Ramosi now. There's just so much work to be done always, and it's always more than you think it is. Because I don't know. I mean, if you go back and listen to some of the earlier shows when I was building this, I thought that I'd have this done, the summer. I mean, I had so much shit done for Mina, and I thought, oh shit, I'll just package this up, and then it became, I just thought of, much better way to do this, so it'll be easier for everybody. And then I do that, and then I think, actually, there's a simpler way. Let's do that, and then it just rinse and repeat it. Now I have a really good product, and before I even forget, I want to talk about this, and I'm probably going to derail from what I'm even thinking about right now, but I'm looking at Treys' stuff that I built for him. All this stuff is me that I built, and I'm looking at it, and I'm just, number one, I'm grossed out because some of the shit is so ugly, and it's just, I can't believe my name's on this, But the other part of me is, it's such a great realization, reminder, whatever, of how far I've come with this stuff, because I'm looking at some of these systems and they're just not good. I can think of 100 different ways to improve them, and I have, because he's got the old stuff. And then I think, holy shit, I've come so far in this, and I spend so much time in this all the time. I wonder how many hours I've allocated to this, if I'm averaging 56 a week, and I've been doing this for half a year now, that would be, I don't even know what that would be, 56 times 1,000, I don't know. Two, 23. Siri, what's 56 times, hey Siri, what's 56 times 26?
56 times 26 is 1,456.
I don't know if you heard that, but it said 1,456. So 1,456 hours approximately have been allocated into Notion and learning Notion and working in Notion. And that is a shit ton of time ahead of everybody else. So I'd like to think that these systems are very well thought out. They're very robust. They're very precise. They account for a lot of different variables. There's honestly a lot of different variables that I probably still haven't thought of. But one of the questions that Andrew asked on the call actually was, how does this sync? You know, if somebody misses a payment, will it update? And I don't know why. That's something I never really considered. So if they do miss a payment, what do we do? And I thought, okay, yeah. And what I said on the call was, yeah, there's a button on there. You just click it once and it'll delay the payment by however many days you decide. And then, it's very easy. I technically lied because there is not a button, but how I could make that button would take 5 minutes. Make a button. When that button's clicked, populates another cell. That'll be a helper cell, and then the main formula is going to look at that cell, and if it contains whatever the thing if it contains whatever the variable is, then it'll delay the payment by however many days that are specified in the formula, and then that will trickle down the line. So if there's a payment that's due on the 5th of every month and we delay it a week, it all of a sudden goes down to the 12th. And if it doesn't, if we shouldn't do that, then it should just be for the first month, but then resume on the 5th and subsequent months. So in my brain, that clicks. We can do that, no problem. But I should come up with a way to do that and make it a different page or a different view on here so that we can track that. It just got me thinking about different stuff, But anyway, the point I was trying to make was I'm looking at all these systems. They're so old, and it's so cool because I've come so far and learned so much. And this is such a valuable skill. And I think, this is great. It's a great skill to have, building these systems and things like that. I even considered building one-off systems and templates and things like that because I enjoy it, and then posting it on the Notion marketplace because people sell templates for $20, $30, up to $100. And I don't know. I think I could do that, and I think I could. I'm not really entertaining the idea too much and really looking into it. Matter of fact, this is the most I've even thought about it, recording the show. But people make some cool stuff on there, and I've downloaded a couple of them, but they don't. It doesn't make sense to somebody who doesn't know how to use Notion, because I downloaded a few templates a while ago when I was new to Notion, and my first thought was, okay, this is great, but how do I change this? How do I edit this? This is in the way. How do I move this? And so because of that, I scrapped it. And I can think of 100 different ways to customize things to make it so easy for someone to customize that it would just be a no-brainer to use. I can think of, I feel like I just think of all the details, and I'm very analytical in this regard of everything that somebody might need, could need, might be able to use, don't need, but maybe somebody will. And I put it in there, For example, the expense tracker, I would say most expenses, they're monthly, with very few exceptions being weekly or biweekly with payroll. Other than that, there's probably not really any other frequency of expense. But I put yearly, I put biweekly, I put weekly, I put daily, I put one time. All these different frequencies, and shit, maybe I'll even have to do tri-weekly, quad weekly, which is I don't mean a month, I mean quad weekly. It happens every 4 weeks, but it's not a month. Month would be on the 3rd of every month, right? Every 4 weeks, the first month would be on the 28th, and the second month that would be on the 25th because it's February, and then the next one would also be the 25th because there's whatever. So, and I feel like a lot of people just don't consider a lot of stuff. They make habit trackers. But the habit trackers there's 5. There's 5 habits you're going to track. And there's no streaks. There's no percentage. There's no there's no tracking. It's just there's 5 check boxes and you check them off. That's, forgive my never mind, I'm not going to say that. That's just not, I don't want that. I want something that is so fucking detailed, that does all this stuff. I want to be able to show and hide all the details under the hood if somebody doesn't like it, but they still get it if they want it, because it is, I don't know, maybe people like the simple shit, but people don't make the complex shit, because I don't think people know how to as well as the simple shit. And I think people, let's go to the marketplace. What is this? Changelog. Where's the market? How do I get there? Marketplace. Planning and goals. Let's see. So let's find some templates. I want to find one that costs money. So this one's $2 for photographers. What the fuck is this? So it's got a table of contents, photo shoot schedule, client list, photo wall, inspiration, to-do list, location map. Okay, I guess that's fine. $2. How many reviews does it have? Can I filter by highest review? How do I see the highest reviews? Most recent duplication. Popular. I don't know how to see. Startup operating system. Track everything your startup needs. It's $10. It's got 5-star reviews. It's got 327 downloads. So this person has made 3,000. No. Why can I not do this math in my head, dude? Some of this. Wait, 30,000. Wait, what? Yeah, it's 3,000. Add a 0, dumbass. 3,000 on this template. And I'm looking at it. And I don't know. Actually, this is pretty nice. I'm looking into it. So stuff like that, $10. Next one is couples financial planning. This is a very basic thing on how to view saved money. The next one is $15. Smart project planner. Instructions, project and task calendar, our team, overdue. I don't know. Some of how this shit is laid out, man. I'm just looking at it. Obviously, you guys can't see this, but it's interesting. So, I don't know. But it has gotten my wheels turning if I were to just make random things here and there and then put them on the marketplace, see how they do, This one is $60. Ultimate Productivity OS. Let's see this. To-do inbox work tracking statistics. See, some of the stuff people get really creative with. I mean, $60 there's probably some high-end shit in here. 0 projects in total, 0 out of 0 archived. 0 tasks in total, 0 out of 0 archived. 0 events in total, 0 past, 0 upcoming. I don't know what that is. That's got to be a list. Oh, it is a list. Oh, that's exactly what it is. That's a gallery. I see how they did that. Well, anyway, I don't feel like this is the most entertaining part of the show. But, yeah, it just makes me wonder if I posted some shit, if it would get any traction. A lot of these don't have reviews. 3 ratings? So they all have downloads, just not reviews. How many downloads does this one have? It doesn't say. So has it never been downloaded? What about this one? It doesn't say. Clarity Lab. How long is this? It doesn't say how long they've been downloaded, how many times they've been downloaded. I don't know. How about this one? 1 rating. It doesn't say how many downloads they have. I wonder why that is. Anyway, I'm done. So that's the show. That's all I got. So tomorrow's going to be a good one. So that's all I got. Thank you guys for listening. Peace.